On today's episode of Local to Global Underground Wrestling, we're going to have our first show and we're going to crown our first champion. But before we do that, we're actually going to sign one more wrestler. I've gone for this guy here. His name is Jeff Amazon. Looks pretty cool. Looks quite angry. Let's just have a quick look at him. I felt I needed another face. We've got 12 wrestlers now, which may be overdoing it. It's probably not going to help our financial situation, but we don't have to use every wrestler on every show, so we'll kind of look after that a little bit. But we are going to sign him. I'll just show you quickly his profile. I'm quite happy with him, actually. Maybe not quite as good as what we've already got, but at the age of 36, we're going to kind of use him as a jobber. I know at this level you don't really have jobbers. Everyone's kind of a jobber in a way, but yeah, I just thought it'd be useful to have one more face, and he's pretty cheap, $30 a show. Let's sign him. The roster we have now is not going to be the roster we're going to have in 5-6 years when we sort of start moving up those levels. It's very, very unlikely we're going to have any of the same people, so I'm not really fussed with who we're signing at the moment. Shall we just get into our first show? So here we are, ready for Underground Wrestling 1. Give the night off. I always turn that off. I could probably do it at this level, maybe. I don't know, but I always think that once I get to sort of higher level companies, I'm going to give people the night off. Then suddenly realise I want to use them. So because I know I'm like that, I turn it off. Select tonight's venue or location. I know I said I was going to role play where we are, where we're hosting shows. We've got 63 people watching us. I'm not going to go and dig out a photo of a local gym or local school where, we are putting a few chairs around a clapped out old ring. Let's just say we are in a gym somewhere in the South Downs, probably, as I said in the previous episode, roughly near where I live. So we're talking somewhere like in Horsham or Crawley and surrounding areas. So that's where we are. So yeah, 63 expected. We are choosing the South Downs. The capacity is 40,000, but obviously we're not going to go for that. That's why I did this as a location rather than a venue. It's only charging us $200, so it'll give us a capacity of roughly whatever it is we're gonna be expected to have as our attendance. So I will pick that location. Yes, I am sure. Thank you very much. Booking team meeting, so we don't have any pre-show incidents. Booking team meeting. Now I haven't added Lucy Hooper to our booking team, have I? Oh, well, that's a bit of a faux pas on my part. So we don't have anything. We don't have any creative energy to be able to use, which is a shame. So we needed 40 to put on this show, and I was generating. Okay, well, we've got a final amount of 28, but it isn't enough to do anything. So, okay, that was my fault, really, for not doing that and putting Lucy Hooper in. I knew there'd be some mistakes somewhere along the line. Locker room incidents, we do have one or two. Puffy, Sandiron, and Thug had a blazing argument outside the venue. And we have Puffy Sandiron is professional and currently happy, and Thug has a stalwart personality and is currently happy. Thug is another road agent. That's a shame, really, that we've got an argument there. Okay, at least it was only the one. Address the locker room. I'm going to start off with some team building. Let's see how this goes down. Strengthen the relationship between me and a couple of people, which is always nice to see. But yeah, nothing that we don't like to see there. Okay, so let's get into this then. I'm going to start off with the main event, the title match. Now, what I have done is I have put in a couple of storylines off camera. So we've got Louis Payton and Stuart Wilson as a storyline. This is for the Southern title. Kayfabe, in story, whatever you want to call it. We have Louis Payton, who is, I don't know, some kind of regional champion in the South. Maybe he's the Brighton and Hove heavyweight champion. And Stuart Wilson is the Crawley and Horsham District Council heavyweight champion, and they tonight are unifying those belts to create the Underground Wrestling Southern Heavyweight Championship. I don't want anything more than that. I could have gone the route I often do with these sorts of saves and have like a big multi-man match to win the title. I didn't want to go that route tonight with this particular save. As I say, I'm just kind of, let's just kind of get there and do it. Let's go through the motions. Let's play the game. Yeah, sure, I will have some exciting matches coming up in future events, but I think for the opening show, let's just have a nice, simple Louis Payton and Stuart Wilson. And what I want to do here then is let's put them in. So we've got Louis Payton and Stuart Wilson. I just need to be reminded. So Stuart Wilson's the face. So Louis Payton will win, and he's going to win by cheating because this is a storyline now. So we need it to progress. We need it to continue. The reason for it to continue is that Louis Payton wins by cheating. Stuart Wilson's obviously not happy. Gives him a reason for a rematch, or at least to want a rematch. So let's set this one up then. Not forget to add the title. I've done that before. So we've got Louis Payton. He will win. We'll have it as an open match. Script it. I can't remember my product. I think we just need a storytelling match, don't we? And do you know what? Let's have this one as the storytelling match. So we're going to have tainted win, pinfall. Yeah, we'll see what comes up in the text, but obviously we'll ignore anything that we don't want, and we'll add our own little. How he cheats, we don't know yet. Not really thought about this. Doesn't really matter. So let's close that one up. I just want to make sure, because this is the first card I've produced on TEW for about 6 months. So yeah, want to make sure I've got everything right. So the next match then we'll have another, this is another storytelling, another storyline I put in, which was a Puffy Sandine and Reese Valley. And I've kind of done this storyline before where this is a contract match. This is to win a contract with Underground Wrestling. We will have Puffy win, again as the heel, and he'll cheat. But Reese Valley will somehow get back in. In fact, I could do this the other way around. No, I think I'll stick with the face. I'll stick with the face. Reese Valley goes to Fink Finkelton afterwards, and you know that I really think I can do a job for you. You know, I deserve another shot at a contract. And Fink Finkelton's going to be like, well, I can't really do that, but I could give a contract to another wrestler that you are identifying as. That will give us an opportunity to give Reese Valley a mask, and Puffy the Sandine player kind of starts thinking, hang on a minute, I've seen this guy before somewhere. And he works out that it's Reese Valley, and, you know, hang on a minute, I beat him. He shouldn't be having a contract. Why is he wrestling? Would it make more sense to do that the other way around, though? Would that make more sense to have the heel in that position? I think it would. So we'll have Reese Valley win this, actually. So it's a Puffy against Reese. It's a contract match. Just realised for the title match, I didn't adjust the segment length. I'm going to need to sort that out. So this is a contract match. So we'll have Reese Valley win. And he will win cleanly. Pinfall. I'm going to check my product, but I'm sure I only need a storytelling match. I don't think I need to have... Yeah, I don't need any other match chains. Doesn't mean I can't use them, of course, and I will, but I'm not under any pressure. So I think I'll leave that one. Advise against putting Puffy in a match of this length and Reese Valley. Okay, this isn't helpful. 12 minutes. All right, we're going to get away with that one. I usually prefer to have my main event at the bottom. Going to need to change that. Yeah, so the title match then. Just want to add... I mean, can we have this one as a fairly long match? We can. And this is between 90 and 150 minutes. So this is a 2-hour show. I think we're only going to have it as an hour and a half. I think that's pretty fair. I think that's good enough. So we'll add in... let's add in a tag team match. There's no storyline around this one. It's just... this is a match that's been chosen by the Underground Wrestling Committee. I do that a lot, don't I? So let's pick a couple of guys to have. Let's have Bali Daljit. Really sorry if I've butchered that name, which I'm sure I have. He'll tag with Jeff Amazon to go up against a couple of heels. Let's go Gavin Owen and Lenny. No, I want Lenny Mockin to. I want to stick him in sort of singles competition to start with, because I think there might be something about him. I mean, like as I said before, by the time we start getting to a higher level, none of these guys are going to matter anyway. Let's do that. Let's put this one down. Let's try and do another sort of relatively long-ish match. And I think I'm going to have Leighton Buzzard win this one. Open match script. And I'll tell you what, let's do it by count out, just to give the fans something different to look at. Different, you know, something else going on. Can I put this one in as a wild brawl? Advise against putting Jeff Amazon in a match this long. No, I won't continue. All right, let's. Is that because it's a wild brawl? Let's take it down to 14 minutes and see what I get. Yeah, he's not going to be one of those guys who can't last 8 minutes, is he? Let's put that down to 12. Do you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm not reducing the match time any less than that. So I've got 47 minutes. I'm not going to go exact with the match angle ratio. I used to sort of literally work out what's 80% of 90. No, we're just going to sort of judge it roughly. As long as I don't get the warning here, I know I'm going to be fine. So I think I can put in one more match. I don't want to use too many guys, but our first show, I don't think it's going to do too much harm. Although it does mean that only 2 people will get left out. I don't think that's a problem. Let's have Lenny Mockin. So these 2 should be faces, aren't they? I'm going to go with Invincible. I'm not confident that everyone's going to be able to go for a decent length of time here. So I might have to have this one as a fairly short match as well. Going to give Lenny Mockin the win. He's going to win it cleanly by pinfall. I was thinking about having him cheat because he's a heel. Heels don't always cheat. I mean, okay, it's fine. It's fine for the level we're at and the kind of products that we're currently presenting. Invincible can't go on for a match this length. I knew, you know what, I kind of had a feeling. I don't know why. Okay, let's go with that. We're going to kick off with the tag team match, if I can remember what buttons to press to move things. Yeah, and in fact, we'll go. No, I'll tell you what, we'll do that. Yeah, okay. So 63 minutes. So probably going to overdo the angles here. Might need to put in another match, a short one. Do you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it anyway. Let's put in a short one. So it's going to be Baz Smith against Johnny Highspot. Now I've had a couple of heels win, so let's get a face win this one. And yeah, this one's going to be a relatively shortish one. So that takes us 11 minutes in total. Let's have Baz Smith win this one. Do you know what? Who was the heel and who was the face? No, let's have Johnny Highspot win it then. Once I get used to the roster, this shouldn't be a problem. Johnny Highspot. Let's script it. Clean win. And this one, let's specify a submission. Why not? Right, so we'll kick off with that one. Yeah, that looks a little bit better, I think. So we're going to have a good sort of 16 minutes angles, which is, again, it's probably way too much, but we'll see if we can get away with that. We're going to kick off. I mean, it's going to be fairly simple. I'm going to use, for the first time ever in TEW9, the quick angle in the ring. I mean, it's not an interview. It's not really any of those. It's not a cut in a promo either. I just want Fink. I'm going to call him the Fink. The Fink opens Underground Wrestling and works the crowd. I stumbled there, didn't I? Because I was thinking maybe hypes the crowd, but no, we'll leave it at that. So Finkelton. So again, he's not cutting a promo, is he? He's working the crowd. How long do we want this one on for? Let's go 5 minutes. Fill in the angle. Yeah, yes, I've never used this before, so I hope that's all kind of worked out okay. It's not an interview, it's an angle. Live, let's go with hype. Just want to make sure, again, I want to make sure that everything's right. Yeah, obviously save that, and we'll do that. Okay, so we open up, the Think opens Underground Wrestling. We'll have the Think interview Johnny Highspot afterwards. Let's go with another quick angle, and it's just going to be, this is going to be a very quick 2-minute interview. The Think interviews Highspot post match. Finkelton. No, okay. Interviewee will be Johnny Highspot. Interviewer will be Finkelton. So you can have an interview with just one interviewee and no one interviewing them. Right, fill in angle. Okay, we'll go with that. This is an interview, this is live, and this is, let's put in character development. Not that it's really gonna make a blind bit of difference. And then we're gonna go into the tag team match, and then we're gonna have an interview. Maybe we'll just have Finkelton again. Quick angle. Maybe we'll have this one as a 3 minute. Maybe this one, actually, the Think. I'm trying to think of one of our road agents that we can have just to use someone else. I mean, we had Fug. What are his entertainment skills like? Not again, not that it's really going to matter much, but they are pretty awful. Geordie, Jimmy Morris. Yeah, they're pretty awful as well. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to have the Think with Morris talk about UGW. So this is, I guess Jimmy Morris is the interviewee. What was his full name? Geordie Jimmy Morris. And the interviewer is Finkelton. They're just talking about the underground wrestling, you know, what the plans are for it, what's the vibe, what are people thinking. Maybe kayfabe. They also talked to a couple of fans around the ring. There isn't really anything in here I could, you can't put in a fan at ringside as an interviewee, but let's just imagine. Let's use our imagination in this game. In the ring, okay, fine. Fill in that angle. Yes, we'll do that. This is an interview, and we're going to have this as a tease. So kind of teasing the company. I don't really know where I'm going with that, but that's fine. We'll stick that in. I guess it is an interview, sort of. Yeah, save that. Do that. So we've got 6 more minutes, and here we're going to have. Now, I was actually thinking, let's go with Puffy and Reese. Yeah, so this is going to be, I'm thinking a stare down. Puffy and Valley. Or would it be a hype video? But we wouldn't have video at this stage. Let's go cut in a promo. Puffy and Valley pre-contract match promos. Okay, Puffy and what was his name? I keep thinking of Frankie Valley, but it definitely wasn't Frankie Valley, was it? Reese Valley. Cut in a promo. Oh, I can adjust these as well. Okay, as I said, it's the first time I've ever used this quick angle thingy-majig. Interview, no it's not, it's an angle. This is a hype. I'm going to cut that from 5 minutes as well. We'll just have that at 2 minutes. Save that. Okay, so there we go. And then post-match, I guess really I Okay, yeah, we will. We'll have we'll just have Puffy. This does mean changing his his look already, because when he loses this match, he's going to be given a mask, and I guess with it should come another gimmick. Although, is it more kind of funny and more of a wrestling vibe that it's pretty obvious it's the same guy really, but Reese Valley doesn't have a clue at first. Okay, I'm kind of thinking out loud here. Let's keep that. Let's have post-match. This is a... I mean, it's not... No, it's not even a cut in a promo, is it really? A dramatic acting from Puffy. Post-match, Puffy is angry at losing. That'll do. Fill that in. Done. It's an angle. We are going to put this down as storyline development. Why not? Actually, I didn't notice whether there is there anything to say. Yeah, I'm going to go into here and a minor storyline victory for Valley, I guess. Reese Valley. Even though Reese, we didn't put him in the angle, did we? I guess we can have him. I guess it would still make sense that Reese has won this because he's obviously really annoyed Puffy. Yeah. Okay, so let's keep that. Book that. Yeah, do that. You have a road. Right. Do you know what? I kind of knew that was going to happen. I only want it to be a minute as well. So what we'll do is we will include Reese Valley, but he's... if we put him off screen, does that work? Ah, oh, come on. Background player then. Change that to background player. And maybe he's just walking back to the ring. Sorry, he's walking back to the locker room. He's walking back to the back. Oh, come on. Oh, hang on. They can't be linked. Those ones can't be linked. Well, I should have read that, shouldn't I? So, okay. Working the crowd then. I mean, he's working the crowd as he's walking back to the back. Oh, come on. The roles of victim, background player, off-screen, and selling an injury are all either passive or negative, and so cannot be linked to storyline victories. It doesn't say work in the crowd. Let me just reread that. Reese Valley is meant to be getting storyline victory. Right, so it's not a problem with Puffy. Dramatic acting. Ah, this is getting silly. This is getting silly. Cameo appearance. Do you know what? Is this a bug? Attacker. It's not even letting me put attacker. Right, there's a problem here, isn't there? There's a problem. I'm going to start this one again. Let's start this angle again. Add quick angle. 1 minute. In the ring, Puffy is angry at losing. Post-match. Posty. It's not an interview. I mean, it's not any of these. I mean, the closest maybe is stare down. So Puffy, dramatic acting. And then we've got Reese Valley. Will it let me use work in the crowd this time? if I add the minor storyline victory for Reese Valley, Puffy's lost it. Is it going to let me do it this time? Right. That was hard work. Okay, then we're going to have a 1 minute Louis Payton, Stuart Wilson, and the Fink. Add angle. I'm frightened to use the quick angle. I mean, I want to put a hype video, but it wouldn't be a video. Cutting a promo has got to be the closest. So the Fink introduces the Southern Underground title. So Fink Finkleton cutting a promo, and he's discussing 2 Southern regional champions, and this is a unification match. Use your imagination. And it's between, I can't even remember who it's between now. Louis Payton. Maybe they're working the crowd. So they're in the ring. I think Finkleton's talking about it, and they're working the crowd. So here's Louis Payton. He's the blah 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 regional champion, and he's working the crowd. And then it'll go over to Stuart Wilson. It is Stuart Wilson I've got in that match, isn't it? I can't see from there. I'm pretty sure it is. If it isn't, then I'm stupid, and I just have to go back and do this again. Now, can I have this one as a... Oh, no, it's not really a storyline. I mean, we can advance the storyline. Yeah, I want that to be 1 minute. It's an angle. Do you know what? I might as well just use this long form booking thing. Hype. Yeah. Right, okay. Then we've got the match. So then post-match, we're going to have... so Louis Payton wins it. So post-match, Wilson argues with the referee because he knows that he was cheated out of the title. And we'll put this down to 2 minutes. We'll put as Payton celebrates. Okay. In the ring. We'll have this as storyline development again. So we've got Louis Payton. He's working the crowd, which means Stuart Wilson, I guess. I mean, dramatic acting again. Arguing with the referee. Let's have a quick look at my roster. No, in fact, let's see who's reffing that match. Save those details. Actually, advance. Well, let's have the minor storyline victory for Louis Payton, Stuart Wilson. So, right, we've got a yellow there. Why is that? Right, announcers. Well, we don't need any. So, yeah, I want to see who the referee is for this match, and we're going to add them. So, Lucy Hooper, excellent. So, we're going to add them to this angle. So, Lucy Hooper, I guess that's character development as well. Can't think of anything else you would rate her on for this. Okay, and then, the show's over sort of thing. So, okay, that was harder work than I thought it would be to book that show. Let's see what happens then. Let's take a look at the results. Okay, the opening segment then, in a good 5-minute angle, we saw Finkleton working the crowd, and this is where he just opened Underground Wrestling. His gimmick got a rating of great, which is good, but he does get a large penalty to star quality during matches and angles. Well, matches won't be a problem, but angles will. 39 overall for that one. Baz Smith and Johnny Highspot get an overall of 24. Wrestling was 24 and crowd was 10. A 19 for Baz Smith, but Johnny Highspot did get a 30, so much better than I thought he might be, bearing in mind his age. This match got the crowd hotter. What have we got here? Baz Smith debuted his Extremist gimmick, got an initial rating of adequate. Johnny Highspot got the Grunge Rocker gimmick and got an initial rating of very good. Lucy Hooper debuted the referee gimmick. It got a rating of awful. I can never understand that, why road agents and referees get gimmick penalties. Not really. I mean, if you establish them as a referee, you know, just give them the gimmick of referee. Baz Smith gets lost his damage popularity more than usual, but he does get a boost to menace. Nothing for Johnny Highspot or Lucy Hooper. Next, the interview with Johnny Highspot and Fink Finkleton gets a rating of 15. I should have scripted it. I didn't. That's my fault. Move on. The tag team match. So we got a wild brawl. Decent wrestling, but not much heat. What do you expect at this level? Gavin Owen and Leighton Buzzard defeated Bali Daljit and Jeff Amazon in 12 minutes 4 seconds. It was by count out. Bali Daljit was fighting Leighton Buzzard. Gavin Owen carried the match. That's good to see. Gavin Owen is this guy here then, isn't he? And I think he's the guy, he's only 29 years old, so I'm quite pleased, really, because he's the one who's going to have more years on him. Although, as I've said before, the chances of anyone in this roster still being around in 5 years' time is almost zero. Let's have a quick look at who got the... Yeah, Gavin Owen with a 34 there. Very pleased with that. Gimmick changes. Bali Daljit has got a high energy babyface gimmick. Losses hurt momentum. Oh, lots of penalties there for Gavin Owen. I'm not happy with that. Although it all seems to be around comedy stuff, and we have not given him a comedy gimmick. His gimmick of judo expert got an initial rating of great. Humphrey Woolsey, the referee, small boost to charisma during matches and angles, and his referee gimmick got adequate. Jeff Amazon, his old school face gimmick got great, and he gets a small boost to psychology during matches. And Leighton Buzzard with his cocky heel gimmick got an initial rating of great. Geordie Jimmy Morris and Fink Finkleton. This was an awful 3-minute interview between Jimmy Morris and Fink Finkleton, where they were just talking about the future of underground wrestling. You know, why Fink Finkleton decided to create this company, where's it going, what do we expect? And they're both just talking about it. I didn't expect much. Jimmy Morris's skills and probably Fink Finkleton's actually in entertainment are pretty bad. 13 might be a little bit worse than I was hoping, but I wasn't expecting much. Jimmy Morris gimmick of disgruntled employee, it got an initial rating of great. So maybe he came across as, I don't really want to work here. Why am I here? I don't think this company is going to do much at all. Yeah, maybe he's a bit like that. I don't know. And then we've got Invincible taking on Lenny Mockin. Good wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. Mockin got the win in 13 minutes 39 by pinfall with an Eye of the Storm. I quite like that. 34 wrestling, 9 crowd, 34 overall, and Mockin getting 44. I do have high hopes for him. Again, if anyone's going to hang around for a few years, it's going to be people that are getting high scores for us. Let's have a quick look at the gimmicks. Invincible with a metalhead gimmick, only got poor, but it's very marketable. And then we have Lenny Mockin, loads of penalties there as well. Although his gimmick of wrestling machine did get very good. Okay. Puffy Sandiron against Reese Valley. Well, this is just the the talk from Fink Finkleton, or they're sort of discussing this is a contract match. One of these competitors will earn a contract for underground wrestling. Got a rating of 20. Let's have a quick look at the gimmicks. Puffy Sandiron, large penalty to star quality, but his frustrated golfer gimmick did get great. As I say, now that we're going to transition him, he's going to be wearing a mask, and he's basically going to be a different... Theoretically, he should have a different gimmick. We will get a major penalty if we do that in-game, which is unfortunate. You know, so we're just going to have to use our imagination that he's a different guy. As I said, maybe we'll just stick a mask on him, but he still has the golf club, and he's still kind of a golfy sort of character. Maybe he's changed it up enough, but typical wrestling. The audience knows what's going on, but none of the other wrestlers do. The other gimmick here was Reese Valley. Determined babyface. Got very good. Not suitable to be used by a heel. Well, he's not. And he gets a large boost to charisma during matches and angles. Let's move on to the match. And it got a 28 overall. So 26 wrestling, 9 crowd. I'm not too disappointed with that. The storyline did continue or advanced, and it did gain heat. So yeah, 26 wrestling, 9 crowd, 28 overall. I'm quite pleased with that one. I mean, it's a good starting point for this storyline. He did win by a pinfall. No, I didn't have him cheat, did I? Because in the end, it was the face that won, and he won it in 12 minutes 11 seconds. And post-match, where we had Puffy, being very, very angry, and Reese Valley kind of just working the crowd as he's on his way out. The storyline lost heat, unfortunately, got an overall rating of 18 and no script to follow. Did I have dialogue here? Maybe dramatic acting. Well, I didn't work at the crowd. Yeah, maybe. I've got to remember to start scripting these angles. And then we've got Fink Finkelton talking about Louis Payton and Stuart Wilson ahead of the unification of 2 Southern silly regional titles into the Underground Southern title. 35 overall for this one, and again, improvising dialogue. I must remember for the next show to script angles. Louis Payton was a hired gun gimmick, and it got great. Losses hurt momentum more than usual. So a hired gun, I did think about this, and I thought that's a little bit of a strange gimmick for this level, unless he was like a kind of bodyguard character. But what I might do further down the line is that he's been brought in, he's looking for someone, or he's been hired by someone to make someone else's life a misery. Whether we've already found that person, whether we can integrate it into this storyline with Stuart Wilson or not, I don't know, but I thought I'd just stick with that gimmick. Stuart Wilson did get a Celtic Hammer gimmick. Initial rating very good, but losses damaged popularity more than usual. Let's go to the match. Heavyweight title, the Underground Southern Heavyweight title, got a rating of 36, which isn't too shabby. 32 wrestling, 17 for the crowd. Decent scores actually. Louis Payton getting 29, Stuart Wilson 35. The storyline kicked off with this segment. So Louis Payton is our Underground Wrestling Champion. Let's head into the post-match angle. Louis Payton working the crowd, and Stuart Wilson was, arguing the fact that he cheated. Lucy, but I can only call it as I saw it. Sorry, I didn't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, and that will obviously, the storyline will develop. So 29 for that one. Overall then 36. I think that's pretty decent for a first show when we've got a pretty awful roster. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that one at all. We had a wide selection of angles, which obviously benefited the show. Let's finish it off. Address the locker room. Who I can't even remember who. I know Lenny Mockin and Louis Payton. I think I'm going to praise for. I know not a great performance. Complimented for a good performance. I think that's fair. And they both seemed pleased. Financial report, yeah, we're going to be in debt for a good few months. Yeah, let's ignore that. Popularity recap, well, we're yellow, so we've gone up point something. We need that to go up as quickly as we can, and there's no media scrum. Okay, so we are currently 1,808 in debt. Yeah, so we're in a little bit of trouble. Louis Payton is our champion, as you can see there. Current prestige is 30. The storylines. Payton against Wilson is extremely hot, and Puffy and Valley is extremely hot. Well, that's good because we now meet our at least 2 storylines rated hot or above. So yeah, I'm pleased with that one. Please give a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this one. The next episode will be another show. Might even try to squeeze 2 in. See you all again soon, everybody. Goodbye.